Good morning, guys. I'm being a little quiet because it's early in the morning. I'm gonna be heading out. Today is another live editing session with one of my clients. We're working on this big documentary, and every Wednesday we've been meeting up for like a full day of editing. If you haven't seen my other videos, what a live editing session is basically I take my computer over to my client's place, and then we hook it up to a projector where he can see me editing live, and then he can actually tell me what kind of cuts he wants and everything like that. And the cool thing about this is that it removes the whole revisions going back and forth. It's just we sit down, we get the project done. This is a really big documentary. It's probably going to be about 20-30 minutes long, and I'm pretty excited to finish it up. We're going to have a grand premiere, and so that's what I'm doing today. But I got some exciting news. Hopefully you guys can hear me because I am talking as low as I can just because my kids are sleeping. They're probably going to be up any minute though. I did get something new and it came in the mail yesterday, and I haven't really tried it or anything. I wanted to try it with you guys, and now I'm buying all this gear so that you guys don't have to, and I can tell you a little bit about it before you make your purchase. But if you do, I have some affiliated links at the bottom. I am not monetized or anything like that. Amazon does give me a little portion of whatever $17 is going to get me from this, but that doesn't change the price to you guys. It just basically gives me a couple dollars from Amazon. So, but it is the K&F Black Diffusion Filter, and I got the quarter strength. I love diffusion filters. If you guys don't know what diffusion filters are, they are you know what? Maybe I should, let me put this on face tracking so that way I can pack up. If you guys don't know what diffusion filters are, they're obviously filters that screw up in front of your lens, and basically they all have different effects. There's some that like add artifacts and change your bokeh and all this stuff, but basically what they do is they soften up the image. A lot of new cameras, including the DJI Osmo Pocket, especially cameras I think with smaller sensors, don't quote me on this, but I think cameras with smaller sensors tend to look a little more digital. And by digital, I mean they're just way too sharp. Sometimes even like if you look at like trees and stuff, they just look kind of, I don't know, it's just kind of weird, like almost like a really harsh, like pixelated. And also like the highlight roll off is a little bit it's a little bit harsh too. And what highlight roll off is, guys, from what I understand, it's basically the transition between the brightest part of the image to the darkest side, like what that transition or that gradient looks like. Like for example, right here, we got on the ceiling here, you can see we have light and then dark, and you see how the light is just kind of smoothly going over towards the shadow side. That's kind of like the highlight roll off, and diffusion filters help you diffuse that light and just make it a lot softer. It feels a little more natural, and it does help like the skin. I rather use diffusion filters than the glamour effect on this, because the glamour effect on this, I feel like it looks like a little too AI looking. I know a lot of people use it. That's cool if you use it, but diffusion filters, you should take a look at them. You know what I love about the Osmo Pocket 3? Everything is so cheap on it. Like, I think I'm just coming from like FX3s and like Sonys and Reds and all that stuff, and every little thing you wanted to buy is like, oh, you want a memory card for this camera? $500. You want a lens? You know, minimum $1,000. You want, you want anything for these other cameras. It's not just the cameras. Like every lens just costs a lot of money. It's worth it if you're doing like professional, like client work and stuff like that, but for YouTube and stuff like this camera is awesome, and everything is so cheap. Like this filter was like $17 on Amazon, and I got it the next day. Super cheap. ND filters, 20 bucks. They're just really affordable and allows you to have a lot of different options. That's why another reason why I love this camera. Just gives you a lot of different options to use. I'm gonna be trying this diffusion filter today. I haven't put it on right now. We are on the Osmo Pocket 3, face tracking mode on. Everything is auto white balance, auto shutter, auto ISO, auto everything. Normal color profile mode, guys. I don't shoot D-Log. I don't want to mess with that. I want to make sure I stay focused on the video, the story. And yesterday I was doing, if you watched my video from yesterday, the Joy is Gold thumbnail, I just kind of went on a walk. I did a little test with the auto exposure. I brought it down to negative 1.0 EV, which we're on right now. And the reason I did that is because I had it at negative 0.7, and it did all right, but I noticed that I just kept bringing it down, like literally like a full stop every time I edit it, like, and it looks fine. Obviously you guys have seen my videos, but I was like, well, can I just like bring down the exposure a little more, and then I don't have to worry about that? So I'm still gonna play around with it. I think a negative 1.0 stop is gonna work for me without any NDs. You know, I'm really giving up on NDs, guys. And when I say giving up on NDs, I have gave up on them a while ago. I'm just saying, like, even on the times where I just want to play around, like yesterday I was just doing a test, so I decided to stack it on. They do change the image a little bit in the sense of like the shadows and the color. And I also noticed that, oh, I have something cool. I have something very interesting. Now, this is just, I was thinking about this last night, man, but like yesterday's video, I stacked the, so everything K&F, you can stack. I didn't know that. I mean, I don't know if they recommend it, but you can do it. So I should probably read up on that, but they do stack. Now, the wide angle lens, here it is. See the wide angle lens? I told you guys that the wide angle lens is pretty, here, hold on, let me take off this face detection thing on. So the wide angle lens is pretty thick. See how thick this is compared to like the ND filters are like this thin. This is a diffusion filter that I just bought, but the wide angle lens is always a little bit thicker. Now, I thought it was just K&F, but when I bought the freewheel one, they make you stack the macro and the wide angle lens together. And it turns out to be about this thick too. So I'm like, I wonder if because of the way this lens on the camera works, you need to like shrink it and then expand it again. And there's a certain distance that this needs to be from the lens so that you get the proper focus and the proper like image quality. What I did yesterday was I put the ND filter first, and then I put this on top of it, and it worked very well. Like, but I noticed that my image was a little soft. And if you guys look in the background, go check out that video, Joy is Gold. If you look in the background when I'm walking on the trees and stuff, they just kind of look like, it's a lot of like, the blurriness just doesn't look right. It looks kind of like lower quality, like smudgy, just kind of weird. And I really think it has to do with the distance between this and that lens. And when you stack the ND first, yes, it does cut the vignetting down. That's why I did it in the first place. But because if you put the ND in the front, you get a really strong, like this thing is super wide, so you get a really strong vignetting all the way around, which is a stylistic thing. In my opinion, I kind of like it, honestly. For certain vlogs, I probably won't do it for all of them, but I think that that's going to be the way that it's going to work better, because this, I feel like, is designed to be right straight to the lens, maybe a millimeter away from this lens, but I think that's just enough to throw it off. And just go look at that video and really pay attention to that background, and everything just kind of looks kind of smudgy. I didn't get that before in the previous video where I stacked the lens in the front, and I forgot what that video is called, but it's the one that has the vignetting. If you go look at it, you'll see me. I'll do the whole video on it, but like the vignetting, I think it's called I think it's the ND32 video, but there's like vignetting all the way around. And I even said like I kind of like it. In that one, I stacked the filter on top of this, and I felt like the quality didn't change, like it was pretty decent and everything like that. But on yesterday's experiment, when I did it that way, I noticed those things. So, and I was just thinking about it all night. So I think it has to do with putting any sort of filter before the wide angle lens. I think the wide angle lens is designed for that certain distance. So let's try on the diffusion filter first so you can see straight up what it looks like. Out of any lens or anything that you get, putting it straight onto the Osmo Pocket is going to give you the best quality. When you start stacking stuff, the more elements you put in front of this glass, the more the quality is going to decrease. Now, this is right now the DJI like stock lens, and you're going to get the best quality off of that. Like, I'm pretty sure you can tell. This brings down the quality, I think, a tiny bit, but I actually like it because, remember, I like to take off the digital look off of it. I actually do it in post. If you guys haven't seen it, go to my color grading video on the Osmo Pocket and I'll show you what I do to it using the film creator tool in DaVinci Resolve. I show you how to take off some of that digital look, and then also using a layer and like using some lens blur on it and just bringing it down a couple points. It's just very subtle, just to, like I said, take off some of the harsh edges. You know, if you have, you know, acne and stuff like that, it helps a little bit. Let's try this diffusion filter and see what happens. Boom. There it is. Oh, okay. I see it. You see it? It's like my skin's kind of glowing a little bit. But if you look over here, look at these lights. They have like a little nice like halation around them. It just kind of adds this cool bloom. Let's see if I put it over my shoulder. See that light kind of spills a little bit over my shoulder. Some people don't like this look. It's a very, it's a stylistic look. If you like a softer, bloomy, kind of dreamy image, these are gonna be good. Ooh, one more thing, guys. I really need to start packing. Here, let's put this on auto tracking. Let me put it over here. Oops. Let me take this off. All right. One of the things that I'm gonna try to talk and do things at the same time. I'm not that good at this, but we're gonna try it. Look at this. Look at this light. This is what the diffusion filter is doing. The reason I went with the quarter strength is because the quarter strength is my favorite. It's what I use on all my professional cameras. I always have a diffusion filter screwed onto it. It's either the 1/8 or the quarter, depending on what the client wants. Sometimes you have to take them off. I recommend that before you use these on any client work, that you tell them, because once you do it, you can't undo this effect anymore. It's baked into your footage straight out of the camera. So you have to be very careful with it. For my own personal things in YouTube and for my stuff, I like them, so I leave them on the camera no matter what. I don't recommend using them for clients, because if they don't like it, they're not gonna be happy with their footage, and then you can get yourself in trouble. So the reason I got the quarter strength is because when you use a wide angle lens and you use like a 1/8 strength, you can barely see it. There's like really nothing there. It's too weak. And the way these filters work is like, the higher the focal length, like, you know, if you go to like 50, 85, 100, 200 millimeters, stuff like that, the strength of the filter gets stronger. So you're gonna wanna use a lower, depending on what you're looking for, you're gonna want to use a lower filter strength, because your image is gonna be way too, the effect's gonna be way too strong in it, and it just looks a little unnatural. And the thing is that you're gonna wanna make it a little bit subtle. At least that's what I like doing. I don't mind a bloom here and there on some lights, but when it's too strong, it can actually take away from your story that you're trying to tell. It just looks too dreamy. Let me get this charger. It just looks too dreamy, and sometimes it's way too bloomy, and you do lose details too. So if you're trying to do like a close-up shot of a detail, like text or something, it's actually pretty hard, because it's all like blooming and stuff. So just be careful with these kind of things. Now for YouTube, and if you want your skin to look soft and angelic and all that stuff, then I recommend getting these. You know what the cool thing about these is that you don't have to take them off and on. That's what I like about K&F. So I did test this. One of the cool thing about these lenses is that you can leave them on your camera, and they actually they can actually, the Osmo Pocket 3, if you turn it off, it can actually close all the way. You don't even have to take the filter off. The only one that you do have to take off is that wide angle because of how thick it is. But it's not a problem. You know, when shooting auto and making things easy, it's not a problem. I explained this before on my other videos. It doesn't break the flow of you vlogging, because when you're vlogging and you're going from inside and to outside, and you're like, you know, you're talking to the viewer, you don't lose that connection because you can just go outside and let the camera do the job. And when you have an ND filter, you're talking, you go outside and now you have to, or you go inside and now you have to take it off, and you just have to stop. And if you're like me, I don't script things, so I just go out, I just freestyle my vlogs. It just breaks the connection between me and you guys. So that's my own opinion on it. You can do whatever you want. And you know, I always want to challenge you guys to test out these things for yourself. Don't just get sold by YouTube and everything like that. All right, guys, let's get going. I want to stop by and get some coffee. It's 7:47. I got to meet my client at 9. All right, Pro Mist filter today. And we are on the Osmo Pocket lens. There's nothing else on it. This is just the Osmo Pocket lens. Whew. It's gloomy outside again, guys, and it's raining a little bit. Should we go out and risk this thing and see what it does? Let's do it. I'm gonna do it for you guys. All right. Ooh, got a couple drops on it, but looks all right. Did I get a drop it? Yeah, I got one little drop on the lens. You see it? You see it blooming right here? Let me wipe it real quick. It looks like that one stop, negative one stop, is doing pretty good. I can see a little bit of bloominess happening over here. So far, guys, I'm liking this diffusion filter. I fell into this trap of searching and searching and searching for how to make things cinematic, playing around with D-Log, doing all kinds of different things, and I'm like, dang, dude, like this is so hard. The only thing that kept me trying was that this thing was so small, and I think that the quality was pretty good, but man, the colors and the white balance, the exposure just kept being off, and the color grading was not easy at all. Plus, changing settings, like this thing was not meant to change settings all the time, especially on the fly. Like I would say I give it a 10 out of 10 on the operating system, because I do feel like it's easy to navigate, but it's not easy compared to like my other cameras where I have all the buttons. My ZV-E one, for example, like when I vlog with that thing, like I don't mind changing the settings and white balance. Like I got used to it. Now it did change my style of vlogging, because before I would literally have to stop, change exposure, white balance. I got super quick at it. But if you vlogged before and if you're currently vlogging with your Sony or some camera, like, you know, and you're using it obviously on manual, hopefully, then you'll know what I'm talking about. Like, you know, you have to have to rely, unless you're shooting on auto ISO or something like that, you have to rely on VND filters and jump cuts, because, or you can just change the exposure right on the video and just let it be part of the video. I actually made a video about this. Check it out. It's called the 3 ways to expose. Oh no, I think it's called like how to expose from like light to dark when vlogging or something like that. I explain this and I show exactly how I do my transitions for those type of videos. That doesn't apply to me anymore because I have the Osmo Pocket now. I literally could just hit record, don't even think about it. I just walk outside and it just works. Walk in and out of places. I don't have to worry about color or anything. And it really has taken that stress out of the experience. And I'm really having so much fun with this. I'm gonna be making my next video, guys. I think what I'm gonna be doing is I'm literally gonna be using this straight out of the box. Now, I know I said, you know, straight out of the box is auto, which that's how it's set up to be. But I'm talking about even the audio too. I wanna do a video where I'm gonna do a whole vlog with it like just bare bones. So that way, if you're still looking into getting one and you haven't gotten one yet, or if you have one and you didn't get the creator pack and you're like, man, can I make this work? Like with audio and stuff like that, I'm gonna do that for you guys. I'm gonna make just a vlog using it bare bones, and then you can decide if you think you need to get the DJI mic or anything like that just yet. I do recommend it that ultimately you save up some money or you do invest in a microphone, because I feel like, to me, sound is what makes the video feel higher quality, even more than photos. Like, I would rather see a cell phone video with good audio quality than a really nice Sony, you know, cinematic video with really poor quality audio. And that's just my own opinion. I tend to put audio first. That's like a deal breaker for me. You know, if the audio's not that good, then it's the first thing I pay attention to when I watch videos. I'm like, ooh, like this audio is like hot, it's peaking. You can hear the distortion. I'm not trying to sell gear. I'm just sharing my experience with the gear that I have, that I bought with my own money, and I'm actually using it. I think to me guys, I'd rather use the gear in a real life situation and show you, like right now. Like, why do I need to have B-roll of the Osmo Pocket and all these sound effects transitions to show you how good the screen is and all? Like, you don't even need to watch a video for that. Just, there's already a ton of videos of that stuff out there. You know, yesterday I had somebody comment on the video and said, yeah, the video, like the ND filters and stuff, kind of degraded the quality of my video. And I agree with it. I was like, man, I know, once I got back home, I was like, man, yesterday's video looked a little muddy and stuff like that. I don't know. And I really think it's because of that. That's just my own theory, guys. I might test it out later on, but I don't know if these are meant to be stacked. You can stack them, but at the moment, I'm gonna just recommend to, if you are going to stack the filters, the free will ones those were designed to be stacked. I don't know about the K&F. You can stack them, they work, but you do get a vignetting. So I'm gonna say that they weren't meant to be stacked. Maybe that's why the free will isn't as wide, because they knew they were gonna make them stackable. And when you stack them, you don't get the vignetting with the free will. With this one, if I was to stack the ND filter over the wide angle lens, you've seen it before, you get a really strong vignetting. I think it looks cool. It kind of looks like when you put a crop sensor, a APS-C, whatever you call it, lens on a full frame camera, because it can't cover the whole sensor. So you get a cool like vignetting look. It just kind of looks like you're looking at somebody through like a little tube or something. I think that's a really cool look, but only for certain vlogs or a certain style or a certain feel you're trying to do. I think it's creative. Some people hate it, some people like it. It's really just a preference thing. I don't really think it's a bad thing. I have a lot of hopes for this channel. Last night, man, I haven't watched YouTube in a while, and I told you guys that, but last night I was like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna watch a few videos. And I had to stop myself after like 2 videos, because I clicked on this video that said, new vlogging style, 2025, everybody's vlogging and all this stuff. And you know what that video immediately made me think and do is, it made me feel not special anymore. If I'm being honest, it just made me not feel special. I was like, oh man, like everybody's doing this. Like, I'm just another vlogger, and you know, why am I even doing this? Like, is this stupid? Like, I started like, it's crazy. And maybe you're not like that, but if you're like me, like, I can't watch. I'm the type of person that I just can't watch the news. I just mentally, I can't take it. So I try to stay away from that. I'm gonna hear the news from people anyway, so I'd rather just hear it and move on with my day. I'm not gonna go look for it. But I was watching this video and I started getting a little unmotivated. Like, man, like, are my vlogs even cool and stuff like that? And I was like, wait a minute, like, no, like,
I'm not doing the vlogs to be cool. I'm doing them because I'm doing them for me. I'm doing it because I want to shoot videos that I want to see. I like hearing people's stories. I like talking. I like the experiences that vlogging brings to people and the feelings, and I like connecting with people, and that is the core. And man, honestly, I should like design or look for a cool frame that I can hang up in my office, because I need to be constantly reminded of that. It's very hard to get influence. Hold on, guys. Put this down. We ended up going with the green tea and the, I always get 3 honey packets on it. The reason I do the honey packets and not the syrup is because, I don't know, I feel like the syrup tastes a little artificial. Man, I don't know, I started feeling unmotivated because I just felt like everybody was doing it. But when I do look at these vlogs, I just wish people, I know that there's more vloggers probably like me out there, and that's great. That's what I want. I want it to be less about the video and how cinematic it looks, and be more about the person and the, you know, their day, their adventure that they're going on. Whether it's going to the grocery store. That's one thing I like about vlogging. It's like a short documentary about yourself, and you can tell a story, you know? You can tell a story, like even just going to the hardware store, for example. Let's like go like, hey, we're taking a trip to Home Depot because we're fixing our sink. That could be a story in itself, and making that trip to the store just so exciting. It's really cool. Like you can really make a lot of things exciting on vlogs. So that, I think that's what connects you guys to this channel, you know? I'm just a dad out here trying to vlog. And for those people in my comments that were talking about, you know, I want to start, but I'm a little nervous, and I don't know, just don't like how I talk in front of a camera. Literally the only thing that's going to make you get past that is for you to start just doing it. You just need to do it. Anyways, we're here, guys. I'm gonna be editing all day, and I don't want to leave you guys without a video today. So, oh, and before I go, let me know what you guys think about this K&F quarter strength black diffusion filter. Today we rocked it on the Osmo Pocket straight up. There's no wide angle lens. Let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you. And if you're interested and you want to buy one, use the affiliated link. My boy Jeff Bezos, that's what I call him. I don't know what his name, Bezos? Oh, Bezos. That's what it was. Anyways, so I could get a couple dollars from that guy. I think they'll probably give me like 50 cents if you buy this thing. It doesn't make your price any different. You just use the link. You pay the same price. I get a little bit, and then, yeah, take it easy.